this world comes crashing and time flies right past us. Love only lasted.
Are we together? Compressors are nothing but just glorified pumps. So the action of compressors is the same action of pumps. Are we together? So in order for us to understand compressors, we need to understand how pumps work. Okay, so what I've drawn here is what you call a cylinder. What I've drawn is what you call a cylinder. A cylinder is a housing or it's a casing. Are we together? And this is where we have all the volume of whatever we want to pump or compress. And then inside the cylinder, you've got a piston. Now, a piston is the one that squeezes. Is the one that squeezes the air in or the air out. Is the one that does the actual compressing. Are we together? And then our piston is connected to the outside power with the connecting rod. Our piston is connected to the outside with the connecting rod. Now, this is where the outside power comes from. Are we together? Now, before we even go further, today we just want to do 4 things. We just need to calculate volume 1, V1, V2, V3, and V4. Then we stop there. The textbook has decided to section it into easier parts, smaller parts, but today I'm going to section it into calculating volume. Then the next lesson will calculate whatever that is left. Okay, so now let's look at this this cylinder that we have. This is a single acting cylinder with only 1 inlet and 1 outlet. Are we together? A double acting cylinder has got 2 outlets and 2 inlets. For each and every movement of the piston that you have air coming in and air coming out for a double acting. Are we together? So per each stroke of a double acting cylinder, you have air coming in and air coming out. Are we together? Yes, Caleb? Is this okay? Okay, so let's start with the first one. We've got V1, V2, V3, and V4. Once we define this, our lesson for today will be done. We've got V1, V2, V3, and V4. Let's start with the easiest. Let's start with V3. Right? Yeah, let's start with the easiest. Let's start with V3. Now, V3 is what you call the clearance volume. Are we together? V3 is what you call the clearance volume. Yes. Is this okay? V3, we call it the clearance volume. Now, V3 is usually a percentage of the swept volume. Are we together? Don't worry, we'll get into what is the swept volume later on. We'll get into what is the swept volume later on. So V3 is the clearance volume, which is normally a percentage of the swept volume. Now, let's explain what the swept volume is. Let's explain what the swept volume is. The swept volume is equals to V2. Others call it the stroke volume. It's also correct. Stroke volume, swept volume, is also one and the same thing. Now, before we even move on, let's make use to this diagram so that we can see what you're talking about on the diagram. Are we together? Okay, so the first part, we've got stroke volume or swept volume. Swept volume, this is the volume that is drawn in by each movement of the piston. Are we together? Yes. Let's write it down. Yes. So this is the volume that is drawn in with each movement of the piston. Are we together? So if our piston is to suck the air in, the volume that is going to be sucked is dependent on how the piston moves. Are we together? That's why you're going to notice that all the formulas, they don't give you the length of the cylinder. It's like nobody cares about the length of the cylinder. Are we together? We care about the length of the stroke. Are we together? The length of the stroke is the one that is going to draw the volume of the air into the cylinder. So the formula for this is pi d squared over 4 multiplied by L. L, which is the stroke length. So that will give us the volume. Are we together? That will give us the volume. Okay, then let's move on to the second one. The second one, we've got V1. V1 is the total volume, right? V1 is the total volume that will be inside the cylinder. Are we together? V1 is the total volume that is inside the cylinder. So the formula for V1 is equals to V2 plus V3. Hold on. Yes, it's V2 plus V3. Or in other words, you can say it's equals to clearance volume plus swept volume. Are we together? This is the definition for V1. It is the total amount of volume that you will find in the cylinder after it is done sucking in. Are we together? Or this, we can call this the intake conditions. V1 is the intake volume that you have. Then let's go to the last one. Last one, which is V4. V4 is the compressed clearance volume. Are we together? V4 is the compressed clearance volume. So in other words, it is given by this formula. Before we get to the formula, let's look at the processes in the compressor. Are we together? Now our compressor can take one of three processes. So the first process we're going to look at is polytropic, right? This is the first process we're going to look at, polytropic. Then the second process is isothermal. Then the third one is adiabatic. Okay, now let's look at these processes that we have. Now, polytropic is the normal process that we have. Are we together? Polytropic is the practical normal process if we let compression happen without any human interference. Are we together, Caleb? Yes. So number one, polytropic is the compression, is the way that the compression is going to happen without human interaction or without human interference. If we don't mess anything up there, it is going to go according to the laws of polytropic. Are we together? Which is PV to the power N is equals to C. Then let's go to the second one. But then normally humans, we are petty animals, right? We like to interfere a lot. So number two, we've got isothermal process. And number four, we've got adiabatic. So let's start with adiabatic, then we'll lastly finish with isothermal. Now, under the adiabatic process, there is cooling of gases. Are we together? Under adiabatic, you've got cooling of gases. Now, the reason why we cool the gases is because if you compress something, what happens to the temperature? The temperature increases. That is very, very correct. So if you compress the gases, the temperature is going to increase. Are we together? Yes. And the temperature increases is going to affect the pistons. Are we together? It's going to affect the cylinders. It's going to affect everything. And then those things will expand, then we'll have a whole mess there. So we don't want that. So we're going to cool the gases down during our process, yes? Are we together? Yes. So we're going to cool the gases down. Now, during the cooling of gases, which means that if we cool the gases, it will go via the adiabatic process way. The adiabatic process where you've got cooling of gases. Are we together? Yes. Chris, is sound together? Perfect. Then let's go to isothermal. Now, this is the problem now. If you overdo it, if you overcool the gases, right, then that means that you won't have any increase or decrease of temperature of the gases. Are we together? Yes. Don't get me wrong. Differences between isothermal and adiabatic is because here you've got zero heat energy that is changed between the processes. Are we together? Yes. Here you've got zero temperature change. The temperature can change and you still have zero energy, zero heat energy changing. Are we together? Yes, does that make sense?
Isothermal has zero temperature.
Yes, so isothermal, the temperature is constant. So T1 is equals to T2. These are the ways in which our compression can go. But normally, this is normally, right? I'm not going to exclude because we don't know how the examiners are going to do. So I'm not going to exclude other processes. Now, normally, it normally goes using the polytrophic process. So the formula now is going to be V3 open bracket P, yes, Charity?
2 over P1
That is correct.
to the power n minus over n minus 1.
That is correct. This is our V3. Are we together? Now, question so far. Question so far. Yes, you can stop it now. When you hear them saying a bore, its diameter. So the diameter of the piston is equal to 210 millimeters. And the stroke of 290 millimeters. That means that the stroke length is equal to 290 millimeters. It runs at a speed of n, which is the rotational frequency, 550 revolutions per minute. The clearance volume is 6% of the swept volume. Are we together? The clearance volume, CV, is 6% of the swept volume. Now, if the index of compression is 1.5 throughout, polytrophic index, N is 1.35 throughout. Intake conditions are P1, 97 kilopascals at a pressure of 19 degrees Celsius. The compression pressure is 600 kilopascals, kPa. Determine. So what you're going to do is we're just going to calculate V1, V2, V3, and V4. For every question that you're going to get on compression, you should be able to calculate V1, V2, V3, and V4. All the questions that they will ask you, they will depend on how well you have got your V1, your V2, your V3, and your V4. Are we together? Then the other things like power, we'll see them later on. The delivery volume, we'll see it later on. Are we together? We'll see it on the next lesson. Okay, so let's calculate our V1, V2, V3, and V4. The easiest way to do it, we need to start by calculating V2 first. Are we together? That's the easiest way we do it. V2 is equals to pi d squared over 4 multiplied by L. Are we together? And our SI units for measurements are millimeters, centimeters, or meters. Which ones are there?
What's it?
Units of measurement.
So is it?
They gave it in millimeters.
It's pi.
Yeah, it's pi d. It's millimeters.
So
Nah, it's not correct.
meter.
It's meters. Yes. Yes, it's meters. So it's going to be pi multiplied by the diameter, which is 0.21 squared divided by 4 multiplied by 0.29. What do you get for your V1? I'm sure you can see how easy this is. And even if they do not give you SV, right? You just put SV there. And then use SV as your X. And then you can calculate everything using SV as your X. You're going to do lots of examples where you're not given the diameter and the stroke length. What do we get?
8.312 times 10 to the power negative 3.
I like the way you did it. Thank you.
Measures, no?
I'm saying yes, cubic meters. Yes, this one is correct. This is our volume. Are we together? This is our V2. Now let's calculate our V3. V3 is equal to 6%. What did you get?
6%.
I'm getting 10
Yes.
power negative. 10
Yes.
times.
You got 10 times.
I'm getting 10
Mm.
times. I said. Okay, let me just.
Your answer is correct. In the textbook is 0.01.
Yes, it's 0.
What happened with your calculator? There.
0.
I told you I don't trust your calculator. 0.01, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10.04.
It's 10.04 times 10 to the power negative 3. Let's put it with the times 10 to the power negative 3 because you'll never make a mistake there. 10.04
times 10 to the power.
cubic meters. Sweet. Let us calculate our V3. Are we together? V3 is 6% V2. So it's going to be 0.06 multiplied by 10.04 times 10 to the power negative 3. What do you get as your answer here? I think you can guess this one with a calculator, can you? 0.006. 3 zeros. Can you give it to me times 10 to the power negative 3?
7 times 10
2 7
times 10 to the power minus 4
times 10 to the power negative 4 cubic meters. This is our V3. Are we together? Now let us calculate our V1. V1 is equal to V2 plus V3, which is going to be 10.04 times 10 to the power negative 3 plus 6.027 times 10 to the power negative 4. What do you get as your final answer? You're not scared. Galvin, what did you get? Calculators, let's get the calculator.
10.647 times 10 to the power minus 4.
This is our V1. Are we together? Then lastly, let us calculate our V4. Are we together? Lastly, let us calculate our V4. Then we'll explain what these volumes are. Let's calculate our V4. So V4 is equal to V3 P2 over P1 to the power 1 over n. So in this case, it's going to be V3 is at 6.027 times 10 to the power negative 3. Now, what is the value of our P2? Why did you let me write 600 here? Alright, so it's 600 divided by 97 to the power 1 over 1.
So isn't our V3 there 6.027 times 10 to the power negative 4?
1 over 11. Is it 1 over 11?
No, it's 1 over 1,35. What do you get your value as? Yes, calculators, let's get the calculating. Charity. Galvin. Caleb, where's your calculator?
Yeah, I get 23.
You're still waiting for it?
I get 23,244.
Is that the same one that you got? What did you get, Galvin?
No,
It's 2.3.
Oh, it's one and the same thing though. 2.3.
4 times 10 to the power minus 3.
Okay, so today's work is done. So now let's discuss what these volumes are. Are we together? Let's discuss. No, don't cancel it yet. Let's discuss what these volumes are. Are we together? And what each of these volumes mean. Now, the intake volume is equals to intake volume is equals to V1 minus V3. Are we together? This is the intake volume. V1 minus V3. And the volume, the delivery volume or the effective volume, that's the volume that you deliver, is equals to V1 minus V4. Are we together? This is the delivery volume. Now, if they are going to give us, let's say we're delivering to atmospheric conditions, right? Let's say we're delivering to atmospheric conditions. They give us the temperature, they give us the pressure, and they want us to calculate the volume or the free air delivery volume. Are we together? That would be, we'll have to calculate now the free air delivery volume. Are we together? If they give it to us, we'll have to calculate it using this formula. PF VF over TF is equals to P1 V1 over T1. This is the formula that we use to calculate our final volume, if they ask us for the final volume. Are we together? So this is how we do our calculations. And our here don't use V1 here. Are we together? Here don't use V1. It will be V1 minus V4. Are we together? So these are our calculations. Yeah, you can stop it now. VF is the final volume. That's the one that will be calculated. And the pressure, the temperature.
Love only lasts if my heart races on. So I step on the gas, burning faster and faster. 'Cause love only lasts if my heart races on. I'm racing on, yeah. I'm racing on.